Chapter 11. Questions on the parsing. Is this easy enough? Yeah? Okay. 3 possibilities, eh? Yeah. All right. So what are the possibilities here? Okay, so genitive, singular, and what should I put here for the gender? Okay. All right. So if you're, well, it depends on what you're taking this as. So, yeah, if you're taking this as ego, the pronoun, then it has no gender, right? So then it's what? Person. That's right. So first. So it's a first person singular pronoun in the genitive case. All right. So what else could this be? Yeah, are we done? Are we out of answers here? Okay. So it could be the pronoun ego. What else could this be? It could be another lexical entry, another something else in the dictionary. Emas. Okay, so you learned a form, emas, which has 2 other forms, eme and aman. What kind of word, what part of speech is that? That's an adjective. That's right. Yeah. Now, since it's an adjective, I've got masculine, feminine, and neuter possibilities, and so there are going to be situations where my masculines and neuters look the same, don't they? And that's why we have the other 2 possibilities here. So, the case and number is still genitive singular here, isn't it? But this could be one of 2 possibilities. Masculine or neuter adjective. Okay. My. Okay. So here the word emas means my, so it really is a possessive adjective. Here, ego in the genitive could be rendered of me or my. Okay. Or if it were the object of a preposition, then it would just be me with whatever that preposition means. By me, right? From me.
Why under gender did you just put first?
Because the pronoun, so let me just go back. The genitive singular first person is only applicable to ego. That is to say, this is a pronoun and not an adjective. As a first-person pronoun, it has no gender, okay? So for that, the first and second pronouns, for person pronouns, we're using first and second in that slot, okay? All right, so is everybody clear on what we just did? Yeah, so this is just theoretically possible, these 3 options, but if we had this in a real sentence, I'm going to just go one way. It would be pretty clear. Yeah. Well, I mean, it could all mean the same. But just as an example, if I had something like, let's see. If I had apa to kosmu amu, then there's really only one possibility for this, isn't there? This is an adjective modifying the noun. The noun is genitive singular and masculine, and my adjective has to agree with that in case, gender, and number, so this has got to be genitive singular masculine of that, right? If it's the adjective. The other possibility, I guess there really are 2, but it couldn't be neuter. because cosmos is masculine, right? This could be the pronoun as well. So from the world of me. It should also be my world, from my world. Okay, great. Number 9. I was wondering if anybody would say that. What is the lexical form of pistes? Pistis. And what article are you learning with this? Well, hey. Hey, feminine, right? Okay, good. It's the only way you're going to know what to put here. It's got to be feminine because the lexical form is accompanied by hey. What is the form here? I have an iota sigma that really stands for an epsilon sigma, where the two epsilons have contracted to the epsilon iota. What case and number is that? Okay, so this could be nominative plural. That's right. But pistis is a noun who's strange in that the nominative plural is the same as its accusative plural. So here I'm going to have two possibilities, nominative or accusative plural feminine. Did he not put both on there on your answer key? Oh, okay. Yep. Right. So how would I translate that? Yeah, faiths. Others? Let's look at number 3. We have piston. Piston. So the lexical form again is pistis. And look at the new here. What does that tell you the case is? Okay, this is accusative singular, and the gender is feminine. Okay, so normally we're looking for alphas for our third declension, but some forms take nu, and this is one.
What is the dative plural for pistis?
Yeah, so dative plural becomes pistesi. And then there's a nu that's movable, so it could be there or it might not be. So I want to be careful with that because, yeah, you're right. That does look a little bit like this. Okay. Here, the nu is the case ending. Here, the nu is just a movable nu. That is not part of the case ending. It's like adding the N to A when you have a vowel following. A bird, an ant. Okay. All right. So there you go. Others? The rest of these aren't too bad, are they? Why don't we look at the warm-up exercises? Any questions on these? So delta, yeah?
So the answer key said on the basis of faith in his name, and I had translated it believe in his name. I was just wondering why on the basis.
How did you translate it?
Believe in his name.
Okay, we're translating it as a verb?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a noun. Okay, and this is a preposition. So this would be the object of the preposition. So that's why he's translating it that way. It's not a command to believe. It's, you don't have any context, so you don't really know exactly what's being said. But I'm guessing that this is probably language from the early chapters of Acts where there's a man who's been healed, who's been, lame from birth. And it's on the basis of faith in his name that this man stands before you healed. So the main verb's probably, this man stands before you. How? Epi te piste, on the basis of faith. Now, what case is piste here? Okay, so this is dative. Got that iota here, right? Dative singular and gender is what? Feminine, that's right. What declension pattern does pistis follow? Third. Look at the article, though. What declension pattern does the feminine form of the article follow? The first, and the first declension is a lot more reasonable, isn't it? So remember, your article is your friend here. If you sort of get mixed up about what the endings of piste are, you do have this article right in front of pistis that can help you. It's dative, singular, and feminine. All right. Now, to me, this isn't the hard part of delta. It's what we do with the rest of it on the basis of faith of his name. What in the world does that mean? Any guesses?
Common sense would make it sound like sense.
Yeah? In his name? Faith in his name? Yeah, maybe because we've heard this translated that way so much.
Well, it's two genitive
Yes, this is.
with, so as I just took two as two onomatos as in name is in his name.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you learn that the genitive keyword in for genitive case? No, that was for dative, wasn't it? Yeah. So this should have given you some fits. Let's talk about something. When we have a head noun and then we have a genitive noun following, there's lots of different ways that the genitive noun can be semantically related to the head noun. The most common way we often want to do it is possession, right? And so this would be called the genitive of possession. The horse of David would be whose horse? David's horse, right? So that would the genitive noun would be the possessor of the head noun. But when you have a head noun that has a verbal idea, some inherent verbal idea. Now, these are nouns, okay? So be careful. This is not a verb. When you have a head noun, though, where the noun is a noun with a verbal connotation, then your genitive noun might be what's called subjective or objective. What in the world do I mean by that? Well, if the noun has an inherently verbal idea, then someone could be doing that inherently verbal idea, and the genitive noun might mark that. Or that inherently verbal idea might be performed on something, in which case the genitive noun might mark that as the I don't know why I wrote objection. That's not what I meant. Objective. It could be marking that. Let me give you an obvious example, okay? I could say something like the fear, and then in the genitive case, of God. Fear is a noun, right? But it has an inherently verbal connotation. So I could fear someone, and if I wanted to talk about the fear of God, then God would be related to fear by way of the object of the fear. Okay? So if I fear God, then I'm somebody characterized by the fear of God. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, if I had a brother who was always running away from a fight, and let's say his name's Tommy, and I said, wow, the fear of Tommy just embarrasses me. How is Tommy related to the fear there? The fear of Tommy embarrasses me. It's subjective. Tommy is the subject of the fear. He does the fearing. He's afraid. Okay? So the same verbal noun or verbal idea of a noun could have both genitives that are subjective or objective. Okay? And the word pistis is one of those that's given rise to a lot of discussion in New Testament studies. You've heard of pistis Christou? That's right. So is this faith in Christ? If it's faith in Christ, Christ is the object of the faith, right? Or is it the faith of Christ, meaning Christ's faithfulness? Okay, it's a good question. And, the grammar all by itself can't pin you one way or the other because both are possible given the grammar of Greek. So you have to look at other things too. But at least you now know that both are possible options. But the conditions under which they're both possible have to be that the head noun has to have an inherently verbal idea. Okay, now, going back to this, it's by or on the basis of faith of his name. So what type of genitive is this? Is his name doing the believing? Is his name the object of the believing? It's the object. So this would be an objective genitive, okay? And so that's why it's okay to say faith in his name, because in English we express the object of faith through prepositions like in. I believe in so-and-so, right? Or I believe in such and such. That's the object of my faith. It wouldn't make sense to an English speaker to say by or on the basis of the faith of his name, right? That just doesn't register with anybody. So does that make sense? Okay, good. All right. Other questions?
I translated that as I have no husband. Is that just as good as I do not have a husband?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So Ada is uk echo andra. So you said I have no husband. Yeah. I mean that ends up in the end being about the same. But let me just say this. The negative particle is in front of the verb, and I would urge you to get used to negating the verb if the negative particle is in front of the verb. It is possible to have what's called constituent negation, or someone might call it word negation, where the sentence is positive and you're just negating one aspect of it. So, like I could say, you are a not cool brother, right? So there I'm making a positive affirmation. You are a kind of brother, but the kind you are is a not cool one. Okay, and then I could negate just that one little part. God calls Israel a lo ami, which means a not my people. So when you see it, it can be a powerful thing. Anyhow, that's really not as important here. But okay, well, let's go to the translation work, okay? Number 1, by the way, is an example where we have an overt subject pronoun and an overt subject pronoun, but different persons, right? I, he. So John is contrasting his baptism with the one coming. But anything else you want to talk about? Questions you have?
Number 8.
I think I heard some amens there. That's a long one. Why do you want to do that one?
Well, because the way I came out with it sounds kind of close to what I know the passage says.
Well. I wish that we could turn off your memory of the passages you know so that you can actually read the text that's in front of you. Because there's always the danger of slipping into, well, I know it should say that, so I'm just going to say that without understanding what the Greek is doing.
Close. I know what it should say,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that I have it, there's a difference here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try to fit it in there, but I need to know, all right, how did I
Yeah.
come up with this?
Yeah.
I know it should be that.
Let's take a look at it. Okay. For idu, well, how did Mounce gloss that for us in our vocab list? Behold. Hemeter. What's that? The mother, Sue. Okay. So the mother of you is your mother. Kai hoi adelphoi Sue. My brothers? Yes. Behold, my mother, your mother, and your brothers. And in brackets, so this is a textual issue, but if it's original, it's and your sisters. This is a feminine group of brothers, known as sisters. Okay, that's right. Yeah, that's how they write sisters. Exo, outside, zetusen, and we have they seek. So do I use the word they here? No, because I have nominative plural nouns that could be the subject, right? Behold, your mother, nominative, brothers, nominative, and sisters, nominative. So they are the subject here. Seek. Okay. Where are they seeking? They're seeking outside. And then I have say at the end. So what case is say? This is accusative. So they seek you. All right, so these are people talking to Jesus, saying your kinfolk are seeking you outside. Yes, so they're outside. Yeah. So, his translation of without is that spatial sense, fears within and fears without, on the outside. Okay, not lacking something. So I think that's a bit misleading. So we want to be careful with that. Now, kai apokrithes, and answering, he tells you, autois, them. So what case is that? Autois? That's good old dative, right? Dative plural. So why? Because you give an answer to someone. So this is basically indirect object kind of use. So in answering them, he said or says, and then we have tis estin he meter mu. Is this the interrogative or the indefinite tis? Interrogative. Accent on the iota, it's interrogative. So, yeah, you might have messed up if you went with the indefinite. So we need to ask a question with this. So how can you translate tis? Could be who. Yep. Or what. And it can actually be translated why in some circumstances. But it'll be neuter usually. That's right. So tis, here who. Let's go with who for now. So estin is, and then he meter mu. My mother. Kai hoi adelphoi mu. And my brothers. Okay. So why is he meter and hoi adelphoi, why are they in the nominative case here? That's right. Because with verbs like emi, we have a copular construction. The subject and the predicate are both going to be nominative case. Okay. So tis is nominative and he meter and hoi adelphoi are nominative. Ide or ide. Behold. He meter mu, kai hoi adelphoi mu. Yeah, what's he doing here? He's waving at this crowd among him. Behold my mother and my brothers. Has, gar. So here's that relative pronoun I talked about earlier. Has, he who, plus on. Okay, that goes together here with has. It makes it contingent. Whoever. The gar, if it belongs in the text originally, it's a post-positive conjunction. We're going to translate it before. So for whoever, poiese, whoever what? Does, tathalama tutheu, the will of God. Hutas? What's hutas mean?
This.
It's a demonstrative, this. Now, here's a question. Does hutas modify adelphosmu, this brother of mine, or is hutas the subject of a sentence where there is a verb to be? This is adelphosmu, kai adelphe, kai meter, estin. There's my be verb, right? So the verb to be is delayed, but it syntactically belongs between these. So whoever does the will of the will of God, this one that I'm talking about, who does the will, is adelphosmu kai adelphe kai meter. This one is my brother and sister and mother. All right? That makes sense?
I think in our English Bibles they translate it as these. These are my brothers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
Well,
know, just take it from memory.
in Greek, it is singular, and it's singular because the has form is singular also. So it's basically he who or the one who ever does that one or this one is my brother.
I guess the brother and sister and mother are all singular.
Yeah.
In the answer key where it says, behold my mother and my brothers, he has an exclamation. And I've kind of wondered through these translations, when is that just artistic privilege?
Yeah, that's just contextual. I mean, it's interesting because he doesn't even use a verb here, right? He just apparently waves at the crowd and says, behold, or hear, my brothers and sisters. You know, you guys are telling me my brothers and sisters, my brother and sisters and mother are out there, but yo, here they are. So yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of license with the exclamation, but it would make sense.
Well, and you see also in the word behold, has exclamation point after it, yet you don't have exclamation points when it's used.
Right, yeah. But yeah, what behold does is it draws attention immediately to what follows. So it is an attention-getting device for sure.
I have kind of a similar question about, how we will capitalize the pronoun he such to indicate that it's referring to God.
Right.
See that in the text.
Yeah.
Something that you do to clarify your translation.
Yeah. In English, we will capitalize. The Greek text isn't doing that at all. Yeah. So, yeah, it's not reflecting the actual wording there.
So, going back, I might have just missed it, but the part of the number 8, the T-sestin, Emeter, Kai, Boy, Adelphoi, translating that, who is my mother and my brothers, putting that as plural wouldn't be right in English. What would you do?
Well, I mean,
Because it's is, not are.
yeah, that's true. In English, we would tend to say, if we have a compound like this, who are my mother and my brothers.
You can do that.
Yeah.
That works. Okay.
So, Kai oi adelphoi,
Kai hoi adelphoi. Yes.
and then autos adelphos. So they said your brothers, plural, are outside. He says, in this one, my brother and my sister and my mother, they are.
Actually, I would say adelphos. So here I'm going to highlight this. Adelphosmu kai adelphe kai meter. That is not the subject of istin. the subject of the sten is hutos. Okay? What's in yellow is the predicate nominative. So whoever does the will of my Father, that person, okay, this one that I'm talking about who does the will is my brother and sister and mother. That's a rather striking statement, isn't it? When you think about it. The connection to Jesus is not physical. The connection that matters is not physical. Is there faith and obedience here? Is there a willingness to sit and listen and do? Is one willing to be a disciple? In a sense, his real family are seeking him, but Jesus considers his family the ones who are seeking him, right? In the appropriate way. Not to shut him down, not to rescue him, or seeking him to follow. All right. Any other questions? Number 5? Sure. Let's take a look there. All right. So here's that has on again. So the relative pronoun who plus on should be rendered how? Whoever. Now, is this the preposition that means in? This is not the preposition en. It's the word hen, which means one. What gender is that? Neuter. Haste me a hen. Haste me a hen. Haste me a hen. Keep that in your mind. So one, whoever, one, tone, toiuton, paidion. So put all that together. One, what? Of these children. So whoever, one of these children, dexetai, receives. So whoever receives one of these children. Okay? He's given you almost everything in that first line. Epi to anamatimu. In my name. Good. So whoever does this, ame decatai, receives me. Okay? So who's the subject of decatai? Yeah, the one who does all this stuff. Okay, so this whole thing is the subject. Whoever receives one of these children in my name, that person receives me. Verb, direct object. All right? And then it's another similar sort of structure. Kai hasan emedekatai. So how do we translate that? And whoever receives me, what about that? What about that person? Uk emedekatai. Yes. So this hasan, this whole thing is the subject of that dekatai. This kind of person, whoever receives me, receives not me. Okay? Receives someone, not me, Allah, but tan apostelantame. Yeah, the one who sent me. Okay? So this whole thing is functioning as a noun, and it's a direct object that is contrastive with ukame, which is a direct object. So receives not me as the direct object, but the one who sent me as the direct object. That's why this is accusative case, right? And that's why MA is in the accusative case. By the way, you don't know this form apostelanta, but you do know something about alphas, don't you, on third declension nouns? Tau is a consonant. This is a third declension participle, but that is accusative, singular, and in this case masculine because my article is masculine. Okay? All right. So does that help? Okay. Good. Are we all happy? Any other questions? Let's see. All right. Actually, no. So commas are commas. Yes. And periods are periods. So the semicolon is a question mark, and then the dot midway up the height of the line, that dot is the semicolon. Yeah. So Sean, maybe this is easier than you think. Was there a particular part of this that you struggled with? Mm-hmm. Oh, hold on. Let's go back to the beginning. So panta. Now, you've got an alpha after the new tau here, right? What are the possibilities for this? Okay, so this could be accusative singular masculine, or it could be nominative, or accusative plural neuter. Okay? So, this is paradathe. He translates that as they were given. So, which one of these makes sense? They were given. The subject is a they. Yeah, the one that could be nominative, right? Subject of the verb. And plural, in this case. So, nominative, plural, neuter. So, all things were given, moi, to me. So all things were given to me. And then we have hupa with the genitive. What's hupa plus the genitive case? By. And that tells you who is performing the passive verb. Because the subject can't be doing the verb if the subject is passive, right? So the hupa tells you who's doing it. So someone did some giving. Who did the giving here? Hupa tu patrasmu. Yes, by my father. Kai udes. Yeah, no one. Now, what case is udes? Ah. Yeah. This is related to Haze, Mia, Hen, right? So it's just got an ude in front. So this is nominative, singular, masculine. And no one, epignoske, knows, tan huyan, the son, ame. Yeah, so here we're going to read these together as except, hapater, the father. Yeah, period. And then ude, nor. Okay, so what's tan patera? What case is that? Tan patera. This is accusative, isn't it? Singular masculine. So this is not my subject. So I need to find something that could be the subject. What's tis? Okay, there's no accent mark. This is anyone or someone. Is that nominative? Yeah, so that might be my subject, right? But remember, I had this ude. So nor anyone epignoske knows. That is to say, nor does anyone know. Nor does anyone know whom. There's my direct object that I've noted as accusative. So nor does anyone know the Father, and then eme, except hahuias, the Son. Okay?
Why is Huios?
Because it's just like over here, udes, no one knows except the Father. That is to say, no one knows except that the Father knows, right? And here, no one knows the Father except that the Son knows. So the Son is really replacing this this indefinite.
Kind of like a predicate.
No, what it is it's what's called an elliptical expression. Let me give you an example. I could say something like, I love you like a brother. Okay? Now check this out. What are the cases that a brother could be in? It could be in the nominative case, or it could be in the accusative case. Depending on its case, then I have different expressions that this is really shorthand for. So if I say, I love you like a brother, and the brother's nominative case, what am I saying? I love you like a brother loves people. Okay? I love you like a brother loves people. Now, if I say, I love you like a brother, and brother's accusative case, then what I'm saying is, I love you like people love a brother. Okay? So, saying things like no one knows such and such except a nominative case thing, then that nominative case thing has the subject function. Right? Tis is nominative, huios is nominative. So the idea is no one knows the Father except the Son knows the Father. Okay? So, or not anyone, right? Ude, tis, not anyone. And over here, udes, nobody knows the Son, except hapater, being nominative case, except the Father knowing the Son. What's that? Exactly. Yeah. If I had a different case, that would really make the sentence screwy, because then I'd have to find out, well, what grammatical role does the Father have here? All right. So, well, we'll stop there. All right, let's look at 10. Why don't we go ahead and read this one since we haven't really done any reading tonight. Ready? Uk emi eleutheros, uk emi apostolos, uk iesun ton kurion, kurion, hemon, he araka, uta ergon mu, humes este, en kurio. All right, so what do you see as the dominating sentence type here? What type of sentences are all of these? There are questions. You see the interrogatives here. We have all these question marks, okay? So you might be trying to translate these. I think I got them all. You might be trying to translate these as statements of fact, but they are questions, okay? Now, to ask a question with an uk is to say, is this not the case? Now, one thing that you haven't learned yet, but we'll actually get to this later in the grammar textbook, is Greek has the ability to prejudice, by asking a question, using a negative particle has a way of prejudicing what the expected answer is. We do this in English with I was going to say with tag questions. So I could say something like, you like ice cream, don't you? What am I expecting the answer to be? Yes. And I could also say, you don't like ice cream, do you? And then I expect the answer to be no. Well, Greek has a way of doing that too, and putting oo with the verb and asking a question with it is a way of saying I expect a yes response to this. Okay? So you'll want to translate that nuance in your English translation as well if you can. So, uk emi eleutheros. I am not a Lutheran, am I? No, I'm just kidding. Of course not. We're Presbyterian. No. What's it say? Yes. That's right. If it were a statement of fact, it would just be, I am not free. But you got to turn this into a question. That expects a positive response. Ain't I free? As we say in Mississippi. That's right. Yeah. So, uk emi apostolos. Or, uk emi apostolos? So that's, ain't I an apostle? Am I not an apostle? Now, those are copular constructions. This next one gets out of the copular construction, and so it's a little bit of a curveball here. So you've got to think about what case things are in. So, uk iesun tan kurion hemon oraka. What cases iesun tan kurion? Yeah, these are accusative forms, so this is probably the direct object of not a copular verb, because those don't take direct objects, but of a verb that's transitive, heoraka. So he tells you this is I have seen, but it's a question. Have I not seen Yesun tan kurion? Hemon? Jesus, our Lord. Good. So have I not seen Jesus, our Lord? And then, u ta ergamu humes este, and kurio. So here's the u. It goes with the stay. So, not you are. There's the overt subject pronoun. So, are you not ta erganmu, my work, and kurio. Okay. Good. Now notice that ta ergon is what case? Okay, nominative. It could possibly be accusative, singular neuter, right? But because the verb is a copular verb, este, that ste tells you that the subject is second plural. Humes is also nominative. Which one of these is the subject noun? Ta ergonmu or humes? If este is second person plural, the subject has to be which one of these? It's got to be plural, and it's got to be second person plural. Which pronoun is second person plural? Humes, right? So that's going to be my subject of that verb. And that means that this is the predicate nominative. Okay? Now, this enkurio belongs with my work. But it has been removed from this spot. It should have been right here. U humes este ta ergonmu and kurio. What's happened here? He has brought it forward to create a sort of emphasis or prominence to it. Okay? My work. Aren't you that in the Lord? That's what he's saying. Okay? All right. So, anyhow, does that help you, David? Mm-hmm. All right. Good. Any questions about this? All right.